Hey everybody, this is a screencast on writing an annotated bibliography. I'm going to talk a little bit about the annotated bibliography and then I'm going to show you my sample and then I'll do another screencast where I kind of go into detail on the formatting of the annotated bibliography. So an annotated bibliography is something that you're going to come across in your time as a student. And every professor or instructor, they're going to kind of require something different in terms of what they want you to do for that. We're going to be writing a descriptive annotated bibliography today. And the point of it is to help you think a little bit more about the sources that you're selecting for your research paper and how they play a role, a critical role in your research. And so an annotated bibliography really does a couple of things for us. And number one, it ensures that we read our sources carefully and critically. Number two, it allows us to summarize useful information. And number three, it helps us think about how and why we should use our sources. And the point is for us to kind of think about all those processes first. And then when we sit down to write our research paper, we've already really kind of thought out all of those sources all the way through. So for our purposes, a descriptive bibliography in a formal one of those, you're going to describe each of the sources that you've selected and state what role each is going to play in your research and also evaluate their sources to assess their strengths and weaknesses. Okay, and so what you're going to do, you have to choose 5 sources for your descriptive bibliography, and you're going to do the following for each one of them. So I'm going to explain it, and then I'm going to show you what that looks like when you are ready to put it into the right format. So you're going to do complete bibliographic information in APA style. Okay, we've worked with APA a little bit, but we really kind of brushed the surface because we were writing a personal essay. We didn't use any outside sources. We did create that cover page. And again, I'm going to talk about all of this in a formatting screencast next. But APA style, we're going to arrange our sources in alphabetical order by author's last name. And that complete bibliographic information helps our readers locate our sources easier. The second thing that you're going to do is write a brief summary, a description of each work, noting its topic, scope, and stands. You want to make sure that you represent each source accurately and objectively. A lot of times when we're asked to do a research assignment for a class in high school or whatever, we find quotes that we like and we try to make them fit, the source fit our needs. And that's not really the case. What you want to do is assess the source to see if it really is an accurate fit for what you're going to be writing about, and a part of the process of this descriptive bibliography helps you do that more succinctly. Okay. You also want to look at it objectively, like a scientist observing a specimen. Just like we have talked about in academic writing. You're going to summarize your main points and key details that are relevant to your purpose. The next thing you're going to do is indicate how each source is going to inform your research. How do you expect to use it? Does it present a certain perspective that you need to consider? Does it report on an important new research? Does it include a thorough bibliography that might alert you to other sources? How does each source relate to the others? And then how does each source contribute to your understanding of the topic and to your research goals? Those are just some guiding questions to make you think about how that particular piece of research is going to be used effectively in your research essay. And then the last one is more of a tip than it is like a component, but you want to always think about balance and you want to think about consistent and concise presentation. So we talked about it being written in alphabetical order. That helps us keep everything lined up. And that also transfers over to your works cited page for your research paper, which really is like a bonus because you're pre-doing that before you have to do it on the works cited page. And you're going to do that consistently in all of your entries. All the entries should be written in complete sentences. The amount of information and the way you structure it should be the same throughout. Okay, so let's take a look at a sample annotated bibliography. And again, it's going to vary from class to class or professor to professor how they want you to set this up. I decided to go ahead and let's set it up like we were going to set up our research essay. And I'll talk about specifics again in another video, but you're going to do a cover page in APA style. And then this is what your annotated bibliography should look like when you get started. So, what you're going to do first is do the complete bibliographic information for your sites. Again, we're going to list those in alphabetical order. And that is this information at the top, and I'll go over how to format your thing in APA style because it does look different from MLA. We're moving away from MLA to get you an APA because you're more than likely going to use APA for the rest of the time that you're in college. Okay, then after I've done my complete bibliographic information, underneath that I need to do a brief summary or description of each work, noting its topic, scope, and stance. And so I chose a topic that I didn't think was going to be a topic, a push button topic for everybody, but why you should give Korean dramas a chance. With the popularity of Squid Game and All of Us Are Dead and all these shows that are coming out, Sweet Home, if you haven't seen that, a lot of Asian television has really taken off in other countries, especially here in the United States. And so I'm writing my research essay on the popularity of Korean dramas and why you should give them a chance. And so I know that I need information that helps me introduce what Korean drama is. I know that I need information on in defining what a K drama is and the characteristics. And then I know I need to persuade my audience. I've got to find some points that I'm going to use in my persuasion. And so I know that I need to look for stuff in my articles that help speak to any of those categories. So this one is Here's Why Millions of Americans Are Binge Watching Korean Dramas. It was my first article in alphabetical order. And I'm going to talk about that in a brief summary or description noting its topic, scope, and stance. So I said that this article discusses digital media streaming platform Drama Fever and its popularity in recent years. It gives current statistics on the breakdown of ethnicities that seek out foreign content because it appeals to them more than American television. It goes into diversity in entertainment as being the primary reason for success. It also talks about how Korean dramas differ from American ones and how that also plays a part in its appeal. Okay, I know that next I need to do an indication of how each source is going to inform my research. So I said that this source will provide substantial information for my section on diversity. Okay, now, I'm going to do that with every single one of my 5 sources. Complete bibliographic information. I'm going to do my summary talking about the scope, what's important in the article, and then tell how that is going to play a part in my research. Okay, and what I just did for that is just made it really simple. I talked about what areas because I'm already kind of thinking through what I want my areas of my research paper to look like. My cat and my dog are fighting. I'm sure you can hear that in the background, and I apologize. They always choose the best times to do this. Okay, so you're going to do your complete bibliographic information. You're going to do a section of summary on the article itself, and then talk about how it's going to inform your audience or inform your research paper. Okay, and so you'll notice that in that last section where I talked about it being consistent and concise, when you look at it from a distance, every section looks about the same size. They might be 1 or 2 sentences off, but overall, they're about the same size. I give everything the same treatment, and that's what's important. That's what I mean by clear and concise. That means I'm not showing any special favoritism to one article over another. I'm giving everybody kind of equal treatment, and they're equally represented in my document. Okay, so I'll go into another screencast in the upcoming screencast on like how to create it, like how to set up your paper and the formatting, how to do these hanging indents when you're using websites and URLs. All of that I will do for you in the next screencast on formatting your annotated bibliography.